begin. So welcome to the semi-finals. We're going with the second ones first. I'm gonna tell them they can start playing in just a second.
Okay, willst du anfangen? Best of 5. Viel Spaß.
Good game.
Yes.
Alright, so the match has started. Skilla against IFA. I'm going to try to keep my eye on the Twitch as well. I'm going to try to just read over their profiles as well. I know a couple of you already looked into who they are and how they play. Thanks for that. And I'll try to see if I can add anything to that. I will try not to talk too much. You can always let me know if you want less of it. Or more. Alright, enjoy. So, just so you guys know, I set up a couple of very nice angles as well. You can let me know if there's one that you prefer. At the moment though, everything's going very fast, so it's not very easy to switch without you losing track of the game. I'll try to break down what they're doing in a bit when I get caught up. This is so fast. All right. Of course, I have to watch the match a little bit before I can comment on it. Alright, well, Skilla's taking a very big lead in the second set, which you can of course see. It's never easy to find your groove when you're 7-0 behind, and it's very nice to keep playing hard when you're 8-0 in front. So I guess that's what you're seeing now. Either way, it's a very good first match. If you think that there's already going to be a third set. So they're playing the best of 5 matches. So first 1 to 3 matches wins the semi-finals and will make it to the final. Nice. So people were commenting about Skilla's lefty forehand. It's very impressive. IFA is known for his consistency, so of course, if he starts doubting, missing simple balls, but that's not a simple ball, it's going to be hard for him. Of course, if Skilla can keep attacking first and strong, it's still going to be very difficult for IFA. Because even though he can defend really well, when it comes in that fast and that spinny, it's not that easy to follow. And return, of course. I imagine he's going to try to keep Skilla a little bit on his backhand, even though Skilla is not a soft player on his backhand either, but it's less spinny. It seems a little bit more relaxed. I wonder if he has place to pivot if he needs to. Skilla. Yeah. Anything long to his forehand he's attacking. And I think that's a good idea for him, because that's a chance he shouldn't let go. Yeah, that's a good one. Alright. First match to Skilla. Very well played. Let's see if Ifa can recover. Let's switch to a closer view, because it seems they're not moving away too much. Yeah, there we go. Let me know in the chat if you prefer this view to the last one. Nice. Ifa is, I wouldn't say coming in stronger, but taking the first points is very important against a strong attacker, because anything that makes them doubt their attacks is gonna help out a lot. If they get ahead, it's gonna be very difficult to stop them. Which is maybe why we're seeing such skewed sets, either all the way Ifa or all the way Skilla. Let's see. I mean, it was mentioned in the comments before as well that Skilla can, of course, make mistakes. That's the weakness in his game, and my game is very similar. If you're such a strong attacker, of course your attacks need to land. If they don't land, it's gonna be very hard. Yeah. All right, Ifa making a comeback. Let's see if he can pull in the whole match. Yeah. Maybe Skilla is getting a little bit more nervous with some of the small misses that he's doing. Things that he will probably think are easy balls. Such as this one. Not saying that it is easy, but you'll feel bad if you miss it. Yeah, he's just a little bit later on his forehand. He's a little bit more insecure. I don't know if there's any fans of Mima Ito in here, but she had that for a while as well. She has one of the strongest games, but if she starts doubting, she makes a stroke a little bit shorter sometimes, and she starts hitting the net a little bit, hitting a little bit too hard. But if she's confident, she doesn't miss anything. And I have a feeling Skilla might be exactly the same. But this set and this match is going to be very hard to recover. Yeah. Alright. Ifa seems to have adjusted to the spin a little bit, even though Skilla is not pulling all of his swing power into it anymore. Because either he's just doubting a little bit more, or maybe it's Ifa that is placing the ball just a little bit more varied. So let's see where they take it from here. So for anybody interested, both players are playing with the Quest 2. And I know Ifa is playing with the adapter, and I cannot imagine that Skilla is playing with anything else either. So both are using a version of the Sanlaki adapter. Most people watching already know what that is. It's a 3D printed adapter to make it feel like you're actually holding a paddle when you're playing the game. So yeah. Yeah, Ifa seems to have taken a step back since the first match to be able to handle Skilla's spin, at least the speed. a bit better, because when he was closer to the table, it was too fast for him to adapt. But it feels like he's doing a good job now. Yeah, that's frustrating. Now, even the balls that he hits, good spins, good side spin, they might not all land, but IFA is showing that he can bring them back, so you better watch out. This is a close set though. Too bad. Alright, so when it comes to coaching, I would say for Skilla, for example, you can coach and say like, oh, you need to use your wrist a little bit more in the backhand, go a little bit more over the ball, and that stuff helps as well. But in this case, it's basically all mental. He just needs to feel confident that he can do it. He needs to be aware of what IFA is trying to do, like trying to push him to the middle and to the backhand by using his forehand as well. Like, he's not afraid of Skilla's forehand anymore either. But still, like, even knowing what's happening doesn't make it a lot easier always to find a solution. Yeah. I think confidence has taken a bit of a dip. So yeah, I would say right now if Skilla finds a way to regain his confidence in his forehand stop spins, because we all saw what he was doing at the start of the match. Not saying that IFA is making it harder to play those balls, that's for sure. But still, like when he gets the chance right now, he's not putting all of his body into it anymore. Yeah. It's possible that Skilla also has a stable game, but if you switch from attacking that hard to trying to go into IFA's game, which is control, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage for sure, because you're still a little bit nervous, you miss a couple of simple balls. There you go. Alright. So it's 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. 2 for IFA, 1 for Skilla. And IFA can pull in the game right now. I don't know what IFA's doing. I guess he's just cleaning his headset. It looked very funny. And when he brings it back, you're not expecting it, first of all, and second of all, it's not like it's easy to read what's in it, because what you put in is already more than it should have been. But in a way, I'm rooting for Skilla a little bit to pick up. Doesn't mean if he starts playing better that he can overcome IFA when he's playing this confident, but it will be nice to see some more of those forehands land, because they're quite beautiful. And of course, you never know if he starts activating his backhand more as well. But it's for a left-hander that's forehand oriented, it's not the first thing you think of when you're under pressure, trying to use a stroke that you usually don't need that much. Alright, there's a comment as well saying that it's very hard to serve short in 11 table tennis, and that is kind of right. Lateral restitution, not a lot of people know about it. It's connected to spin right now. Makes that the ball kind of always activates the sponge even when you're hitting it a bit softer. So it's a bit hard to not have it jump. But you can do it. It's like playing short with a very fast blade. It's still possible. There you go. A closer set. Even closer now. Frustrating. I know the feeling, man. Come on, Skilla. Pick yourself up. That's a good positive play. Yeah, he's back into it. Let's see if he can convert this set. It could be a key set if he can manage to pull this in. He can give him a little bit of a boost to go into the second set with a bit more confidence. Yeah, this can be a bit of a hit. Alright. For the sake of the game, I'd say support Skilla right now. For the sake of IFA, don't. But yeah, I just want to see a good match. I actually have a couple of more things that I can say about both players. But I'm too caught up in all of this. I'm getting very close to the end of the line for Skilla. It's very interesting how similar this frustration is to mine when I see my own matches and replay. Yeah. So I don't have Skilla's bet settings, but I do have IFATons. He has 89 bounce, 90 spin, and 1.16 throw on the forehand, and 1.14 throw on the backhand. I do know what both of them are playing in real life as well. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. But right now, let's see if Skilla in some way or form can save this set. It's becoming very, very difficult. But we've all seen Timo Boll do it before. He's also a left-hander. There you go. Ah, man.
Oh, hast dich gut gewehrt.
Ja, gegen die leeren Aufschläge kann ich nichts machen. Ne?
GG, man.
Ja, GG. Nice.
Really good.
Good luck in the next round.
Yeah, me too.
See you.
See ya.
All right. Everybody watching.
It's okay, Alex, if we leave.
Alright guys, welcome back. Let's hope we don't have any technical issues anymore on this one, because it's been quite enough. So let's hope that we can finish this till the end. In the meantime, while it's working, enjoy It's JD versus ProTTVR. ProTTVR known for being a beast. And well, actually playing very similarly to IFA, so you would expect maybe he would be attacking very strongly all the time, but he plays very solid, but when he sees an opening, he goes for it. Is JD? I have no idea. I haven't seen him play before. He's a left-hander like me. He told me that he's never lost against ProTTVR, so this could be a very interesting match, because I'm sure ProTTVR knows that he lost in the past, and he will try to make up for it, try to surprise him. But right now, still going more or less equal. Alright. I'm sorry if I'm not giving too many details about the players. Like I said, I prefer watching the game. Whenever I get a chance, I'll try to put something in. Most people you already know ProTTVR as a Greek player His highest performance was being number 7 in Greece. It's a while back, of course. It doesn't mean that he's much less strong right now. His JD has just joined us 5 weeks ago, so either way, it's very impressive. First set goes to ProtoTVR though, so let's see if JD can catch up. All right. Ooh. I can see both of them are playing quite a controlled game. I wasn't sure when JD said that he won against ProtoTVR a lot, what type of style he would have, if it would be like IFA or Skilla or me. It seems it's very similar in a way. So let's see if he gets to show off at some point what allows him to make that many points against ProtoTVR normally. I can see it a little bit already. He's quite solid. Oh, I like that. He's quite solid, but there you go. That's the first match that was super fast. All right, let's see if JD can catch up. All right, guys. I hope you made it back in already. If not, well, you'll pick up in the middle. ProtoTVR is getting ahead. He went to get some water and we lost connection, so he's decided to dehydrate in between his next matches. All right. So I've seen in the comments as well, somebody mentioned that ProtoTVR is very strong in stopping other people playing their game, and that is very true. That is a big part of his game. He plays in a way that he doesn't make too big strokes, which of course is always a good idea. But he plays a lot on the counter, meaning that he can deal with you attacking, and it allows him to use smaller strokes because he's using a lot of your power. And using smaller strokes means that it's much easier for him to switch between backhand and forehand, and then, yeah, because he does the counter thing, it comes back very fast, and then it means that he can control the table quite well. If you do a big stroke like mine or Skilla's, and you don't finish the point, you're gonna have a lot of trouble against him, because it's gonna come back very fast. And of course, apart from that, even if you don't play big strokes, his placement is quite on point, and like he uses a lot of serves that don't seem like they do a lot, and honestly they don't, but they allow him to go into his counter game that he wants to play so much. So he doesn't mind that you open up. He just plays it to the middle so you don't open up too fast. He tries to surprise you a little bit. And then afterwards he can take control of the rally, right? And sometimes he puts a short one to your forehand, to your backhand, as a surprise. But basically he's just looking for the counter rallies that he can control so well. You can see very clearly that he's holding JD back from any significant attacking strokes. So that was not too bad, but you could see it was not super powerful because he had to move through the middle to get to that. So this is like a masterclass in playing to the middle. Yeah. And you can see as well, ProtoT has very good acceleration on a very short distance. There you go. It's closer than you think, though. Like, even though ProtoT seems to be in control, JD is still there. He's right there. He's not too far behind. So if he manages just to, you know, like this, for example, like do a good serve so the return is a little bit softer, and then attack without missing too much, he can do some damage for sure. But you really have to be able to set up for your own game against Proto T, because just joining him in his is very, very dangerous. So for people in the chat, this is best out of 5 matches, right? Best of 5 matches. I hope everybody can hear me a little bit better now, by the way. I put the mic a bit closer. For those that didn't want to hear me better, sorry. Alright. Nice, that's what he has to do basically. But it's not easy to do because you don't get a lot of those high balls from Proto TVR. And he's leaving them in his backhand, so it's not, unless he's a backhand oriented player, it's not the easiest place to finish. This is good though. So I have a feeling JD, if he moves his backhand a little bit more to the middle, unless of course Proto T notices, he might be able to follow along in the rally a little bit longer, as long as he puts some pressure with his backhand, not just returns the ball. So I'm actually lost track a little bit. I imagine this is the third match, right? The first 2 were won by Proto T. So it's going quite fast. But I can see JD coming into it still. It's not like a done deal. But it also has to do with the way that Proto TVR plays. Because it depends a little bit. He gives quite a lot of space to the other player, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And by space I mean this, for example, like he pushes it to the deep forehand. If he's ready to attack that ball, but he's not ready. This is good though. Good counter. At some point in the rally he left it quite high, but he recovered with the next one. So JD is taking a step back, and it might not be a bad idea. It seems to be working. Gives him a little bit more time to go for his slightly larger strokes, because he's not as fast close to the table as Proto T is. And this is good though. Consistency is key in this case. We haven't seen it yet till now, but Proto TVR can also lose his cool and start missing. It's possible, but of course he has a lot of experience dealing with that kind of pressure as well, so let's see. Yeah, alright. Let's go into the third set for this match. Good. Yeah. JD is making his game a little bit more simple, in a way. In a way a little bit slower because it's further away from the table. But it's so important to just land the ball on the table. Because of course if you miss, you lose, right? And it might seem silly, but he's not too afraid of Proto TVR attacking either. He can handle it, as long as he's positioned well and not too close to the table. And as long as he doesn't play too passively. But of course it's still dangerous, because Proto TVR right now is adapting as well, moving back just a little bit more to be able to counter a bit more aggressively. Because you notice he has a bit more time now as well, since JD moved back. Yeah. That's a very good wide ball. Let's see if JD pulls this in, because he has to work really hard for his points. He's not getting them easily. ProtoTVR neither, but he's ahead, so he can afford. Oh, there we go.
All right. Thank you.
Nice game.
Okay.
Good luck at the finals.
Thank you. And you in the he's gone. Now, leave.
Alright, so a very amicable start. I don't think it's going to remain that way, at least not when it comes to what they will do to that ping pong ball. Let's see what's up. So, I haven't seen their head-to-head, but I imagine it's very close, because I've seen ProtoTV's reactions, IFA's reactions when they've played each other. And yeah, he's frozen. Do you both still hear me?
Show me the money!
Any second. Do you hear my voice already on the stream? No. Alright. Guys, I hope it's live, because they have started again. There we go. We're watching. Alright. I had to wait a little bit for the stream to catch up. So, let's get back into this. IFA is in the lead. For people watching and wondering, I just saw the chat going about it as well. The winner of this final will take home $500, which is quite a lot. Second player will receive $250. And if ProtoT happens to win, again, I think I am kicked out of the money by the person who wins the tournament. But this is not about me or any other cats. Let's see what's going on here. ProtoTVR has made his way back and actually over IFA right now. But IFA is not known to become very nervous, so this set is not finished. It's one of the strongest points of IFA I see. Maybe it's different when you actually hear him and he's not muted, but he seems very, very calm, and that's always a very strong character trait in a player, unless of course being calm means that you play slower as well. But in the case of IFA, he's just super consistent and not easily disturbed. You can see him accepting like good points from his opponents without batting an eye, just going for the next ball. So even if he doesn't win this first set, it should still be very interesting. And he does not win the first set. Let's see if at some point frustration creeps in, or if he can keep up from the beginning. Very nice point. You can see both are playing with a little bit more control. They're not doing really big strokes, so the point doesn't finish with one of their strokes finishing the point most of the time. It's actually more a game of who loses control first, not who makes the biggest attack first. What does seem to help both of them is placement, but they have to work quite a lot to make sure the other person is out of position. Yeah. That's very good play. Both are playing towards the body, towards the middle. But you can see they're not really weak in what is most other players' weak spot, which is where your belly is supposed to be. Both of them can actually play with decent speed from there. Again, that's because they use very compact strokes, which are also easier to shift in front of your body than big strokes, of course, because you need the space beside your body to play those. Again, second set also very close. I can't say that either one of them is really leading, because you can see like ProtoTVR attacks first, he attacks strong, but it's not the point that he takes away. It's almost reminding me of a match between Ma Long and Van Zendong, where actually the person that returned with backspin was actually the one that was making the point, because if they flicked or attacked, the counter was so strong that they would lose the point actually instead of winning it. This is very good quality. You can see both of them trying to find different solutions to the game. Like we've seen a lot more backspin happening right now, trying to see if there's something that the other one is bothered by more than anything else. Oof. ProtoTVR was going for the point as an attacker, but he didn't make it. Again. So let's see. He's trying to force the point a little bit. That might work. It's always a bit easier. I'm sorry. It's always a bit hard when you're a counter player, when you try to make the difference by actually attacking. But he made it anyway. But he made it in the end by playing control again. So it's a balance between control and still trying to finish the point. It's very interesting to see. Very close games. Let's hope his water is close by now. But yeah, I thought it was a good comparison. So, I mean, in a way that attacking first is not the thing that gives you the point in this game. Alright. So, I can see ProtoT is almost always going through the middle, except just when I say it, he goes to the other side. So he's very smart that way. Like the way he shifts, where he puts the focus of the balls. It's not random. Like he can really go for one corner for a while just to make you not prepared for the switch that he does afterwards. Timing those is very important to do it well, and he does it very well, of course. There's a lot of experience doing exactly that. Or maybe I'm totally wrong, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about it. Yeah, but he told me as well before that he used to play with way bigger strokes, so I know he loves still finishing the point, and you can see him trying to do it now as well. And if he actually makes the points, it's good, but if he misses a couple, it can be dangerous. It can actually be the way he might lose this, because it's if you have to play 2-3 balls that are good, but they all come back, you still have to play the fourth. And that's the strength of IFA, bringing everything back, not being too worried. If you want to ever see somebody block one of those crazy 200 revs a second spins, IFA's the man. He can block anything in this game. Alright, so even though neither one of them is really leading in this game, neither the last one, ProtoTVR has pulled in 2 sets in a whole match already. So for the sake of the finals, let's see if IFA can pull in at least this set. Aye. So once again, they're playing for $500 which is not peanuts. But don't forget there were 2 other tiers below this one. I've actually pulled in the set. I didn't even see it. So this is getting closer and closer. So yeah, there's 2 other tiers. This is the gold tier. And the other tiers, they're actually dividing up quite a bit of money as well. So it's very interesting to see that. Because I mean, it's important to motivate players that are playing at a slightly lower level. Maybe something seems to have happened.
Again, problem.
Pro-TT freeze, frozen, gone.
All right, guys. Who here's
Alex.
Okay, gonna leave. Come back.
So I5, if you're hearing me through the stream, just stay in the room for a second so you can come back. Because last time we left the room before I had a chance to jump back in.
You see me?
Oh, yeah,
me?
all good?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Just continue.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So guys, of the stream, I hope you didn't make it less live. If it is not live anymore, make it live again, because the points are still on the board and they're continuing. Anybody still wondering why there's double touches on the table sometimes? That's because of the lag. It's not actually happening. So in the view of the person that is playing the ball, they don't see that second touch because they hit it sooner. It's just the information of the game needs to travel to the cameras for them to see it, to pick it up, and by then the ball has already bounced twice, but actually they hit it in time. Alright, I've tightening this strap on his head. It's gonna leave a mark tomorrow probably, but it's worth it. Alright, let's get back into the game. Pro-TT VR is starting to overpower, so maybe he had the right idea of trying to play harder and trying to get consistent with heavier strokes. And make sure that he puts enough spin and speed on it that it actually puts pressure on IFA. Because it's true that slower balls don't really cut it, like these ones. So IFA has to really place them well to make sure that he can still stop Pro-TT. That's a good one. And of course Pro-TT, in this game, and this is new for people that have been watching the semis as well, he actually needs to go on the attack. At least that's what he's doing now. Wonder what's happening now? Okay. I imagine he's wiping down some of the sweat. That's the bad side, of course, of not hearing what they're saying. There we go. Any requests for chop blocks, of course, you can place them with the small finalists because they can see that and they can still do it. But these guys, they're way into it. So I don't think we have a chance to ask for chop blocks or anything weird. Even though weird, it's just part of the game. So we might just see some stuff. So this last set in the second match is really a close call. That was close to a chop block. Yeah. All right, Glug. I hope you're happy with that one. I don't know if you're gonna see anything that's more like it, but it was very close. And that's a chop return. If you ever hear me sigh because somebody misses, it's because I don't like seeing people miss. But in the end, that's the game as well, of course. A lot of people think, of course, the game is, and that's what I would like as well, is the game is about finishing the point, not somebody else missing. But actually, of course, the game is about making the other person miss, either by playing very strong so they can't return it, or by playing it in a way that they are insecure and they miss. Actually, playing for insecurities is one of the most secure ways to win, of course, because once your opponent is insecure, it's very hard to come back from that. That's a very good ball. Let's see if he can pull this in. You can see he's ready for it though. He will need to do a bit more. Oh no, good, good. That's always a question, of course. If you're defending, if you're countering, how long do you counter without accelerating? And he's making the right decision right now. In real life, I think it would not have been the right decision, but in here it was. That's good. That was not that easy. Alright, it's 1-1 in matches. We're playing, because it's the final, we're playing the best of 7. I even forgot about that. So we're gonna be here for a while, guys. Whenever they show points, they show female and male points equally, and people are starting to realize what monsters the female players are as well. Imaito is always a very nice player to watch highlights of. Right, ProtoTV VR coming out of the blocks flying, you would say. But 3 points can fall anyway very fast in this game. It's a good acceleration towards the middle though. Yeah. Good defense by ProtoT. Like IFA is not expecting those to come back that much. So right now you see IFA is trying to force the attacks a little bit more. Trying to take back some of the initiative. Even though he won the last match, I think he noticed that it was ProtoT that was actually dominating. But yeah, like I said before, it might be the wrong choice because it's safety that makes both of these players so impressive. So yeah. Alright, we might be looking at a change in the game actually, because both of them are getting really warmed up and they're actually both starting to play more aggressively. So they're getting really used to each other's strokes. So it might become less about control and more about those spins and attacks actually landing. But control is always going to be there somewhere, so if they can win a point by control, they're going to do it. Look at the speed. They really picked up. I mean, even the serve is just bringing the ball into the game. Both of them happy to just counter. All right. I'm feeling IFA might need to actually get out of ProtoT's game, not play as fast, because for some reason slightly slower balls were causing a bit more trouble. Which of course actually it's not that weird. If your game is counter based, you use the other player's spin and speed, and that's what ProtoT VR does very well. I would say slow and spinny from either side would do a lot of damage, but I know slow and spinny against IFA is not the solution either, because he can handle it. The other way around though, I've seen ProtoT VR struggle a bit with slow and spinny loops. Not that he couldn't handle them, but he hasn't shown me the same strength in returning them as IFA has. Very nice backhand. That's a very nice backhand. Being able to play something like this means, to me at least, that IFA is dealing with the pressure really well. And ProtoT VR is solid as always. But those kind of strokes are easy to miss when you're under pressure, and he dealt with it very well, no doubt whatsoever. This is turning out to be a very, very nice game. It might take another 2 hours though. No, I'm just kidding. These games go so much faster than real life, it's crazy. No looking for balls, not even breathing between points sometimes. You really have to remind yourself to take a breath. Right. So I mentioned before about women in ETT. Nice point. Good. So yeah, we have a couple. We have Rita and Eva Martinez, Emart or Emart. We're going again to a third set in this third game, this third match. It's 1-1 in matches. They're playing best of 7, so first to 4 matches won. And up until now, it's been super equal. So yeah, female players, we have a couple that are actually quite good, really good. But if you look at the percentages, I think I saw percentages, and it's like more than 93% male, I think. Which I think doesn't reflect table tennis as a whole, even though there's a lot more male players there as well. And I'm not even sure if it reflects how many female players have VR headsets. It would be interesting to see. I think actually there's quite a lot more than 2D gamers. Okay. That's it, yeah. IFA's not letting down, and he's actually starting to make his winners as well. Of course, you have to find the right moments to go for it and stop your opponent from doing it too much, and he's doing okay. All right. So I think the key is that they have to really wait for the 4th or 5th ball to go for the all-out attack. Because if they do it sooner, they might be out of position, because the first ones almost always come back. It's a good comeback by IFA, by the way. Ooh, he's gonna feel that one. Still super secure. Proto TVR is gonna feel those as well. I don't think he's happy with those. All right. Smart serve. Yeah. Kind of counting on IFA not to be totally ready for that. Not because of time, just because he doesn't do that a lot. Short serve. So he keeps it till the end of the set. So you have to deal with something new. Smart play. Very good placement as well for that spin. I mean, the way that came in high and spinning with side spin, very hard. Alright, 2-1 for IFA. Okay, let's see if Proto TVR can crawl his way back into this. And I think for sure, when it comes to skill, he can. IFA also attacking more than in the beginning, realizing that he has to attack more than once when he does, moving a little bit better. He also told us he's actually playing in the living room now, so you guys better watch out. If he comes out of his room, he's even better. It reminds me of Idrauzu when he moved his chair and beat the crap out of me. Trip down memory lane. But this is what we want to see. I mean, not 5-1. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in general, the games. It's a very hard-fought game. Nobody's backing down. Nobody thought that just countering was enough. I mean, they could play more safely, but they don't. They both go for their strokes, try to keep them compact so they're not out of position. Getting more and more used to each other. And they're not making a lot of weird mistakes. IFA is going for very creative solutions right now. Which is not a bad idea, of course. Because that's what he's not expecting. Alright. Yeah, he has the space to do some lobs now, and lobs are very dangerous in this game because players in general are not super comfortable with high balls. That was a lot of acceleration on that backhand, a lot of spin. Let's see, because the set is never finished. Still not finished. We can see some frustration creeping into Proto TVR's movement. Understandable. Yeah. So he's gonna gather his thoughts a bit. It's to be expected. It's not a bad move in between sets. Catch your breath. IFA was really getting into a rhythm. Sometimes rhythm can be so important in a game. So if you coach somebody at this level, it's about confidence. You know, there he was. Very fair play, because you can miss serves because of tracking. So giving them away is, well, you're showing basically that you shouldn't have missed that. So you trust in the tracking, and it's really just you that missed. And in a game like this, it's not obvious to give away any points. So well played from IFA. Alright. I think I was saying something super cool and interesting, but I kind of lost it. Maybe I'll pick it back up I can pick it up again when people see it in the chat. I think I was saying, yeah, about how it's about the mental game, right? But what else? Oh yeah, rhythm. Of course, rhythm, man. If a player starts making good points and he starts stringing them together, like you can see hat-tricks in football, they become unstoppable sometimes. And there's players that solve this just by breaking rhythm, meaning doing some weird stuff in between points, maybe even going into a discussion with the referee, stuff like that. And it doesn't seem fair, but it's part of the game as well. And sometimes it's very annoying, but it's what you have to be able to deal with right now, because the mics are off and all of that stuff. This is not really happening here. So the only way that you can actually break rhythm is to take a little bit of a breath between sets or before you serve. Of course, you don't want to take too long, because you also have your own rhythm to think of. This game, though, is... you need a lot of focus, though, in this game to be able to get out of somebody's rhythm, because it's so easy to just spawn the ball and continue, spawn the ball, continue. And before you know, your set is gone. And it seems to be a little bit what is happening here now. Yeah, the frustrations come up. To deal with those kinds of frustrations, you really need to take some time. And honestly, I'm just as bad at this as anybody else. I forget about it. Okay, I always think I'm a way better coach than I am a player, and I hope that's true. But I would hope that it becomes less and less true. Alright. I think that means, if I'm not mistaken, this is 2-2, right? In matches. People that have seen me play know that I can be quite active as well. And my voice can do lots of other stuff too. But when I speak, this is what I sound like. Alright, let's see. Let's see who picks up the rhythm first. and if there's a response from the other side. I've heard a lot of people complain, by the way, about the net and how it's not realistic and stuff, but to me it is actually quite realistic. The only thing that's not realistic is that it doesn't vary as much in spin when it comes out. Meaning that actually it's very predictable. So when you see IFA, for example, return a netball with a strong attack, it's not that weird to me because he can read the spin that's on it. If you just follow the stroke, you know what the effect of the net is. It's going to be very similar every time. So actually the net is easier to deal with than a real life net. Alright, frustrations. We all know that. You know how that works. You have to think as well, both players are getting tired. I mean, at least that's what happens to me in the 5th match. And it's very easy to just slow down just for a second, lose a match without realizing it. And you have to get back into your groove, and getting back into a groove is always harder than you think. And it doesn't have to be a whole match, it can happen in just a set, half a set. You're not paying attention, it can make a lot of this difference. Both of these guys, though, they're never without focus for a long time. Can I yodel, Glug? I don't know, and I don't think I'm gonna try right now. Baby's sleeping here. And I think I will cough as well in the middle of a yodel. So guys, I don't know. Yes, 2-2. Thanks, Glug, for confirming. Yeah, right. Roman is joining me and using a lot of frustration in one sentence. I think I still hold the record on one of my videos. Yeah, he's right. You can see his frustration. His frustration is bringing him deeper into Proto TVR's game. Trying to speed up, well, actually, that's what he likes. So I think for IFA it's very important to speed up at very specific moments. Instead of trying to, like, this is actually very good. Control. And then when he gets a good chance, speed up. The moment Proto TVR is kind of playing the waiting game. There you go. That's it. It's always a bit of a balance. Proto TVR is very good in letting you lose your own points. But he's also very good at switching gears when it needs to. So, yeah. So Ivan knows that he needs to make everything out of every chance that he gets. Though I don't think that was exactly the chance that he needed, because he was still moving his feet. But, yeah. By the way, people wondering. There we go, that's 3-2. People wondering about me mentioning feet and body positions and all that stuff. I mean, I haven't done it that much today. But real life players, when they play this game for a while, they realize they can really see the opponent's body quite well. Oh, this makes me think that machine learning will give us full body avatars sooner than you think, because if I can see where your body is, the machine can learn to do it as well, for sure. You can see right now Alpha was just a little bit late, which made him lean a little bit more. And when you're leaning down, of course, you're not gonna be able to use your body to add strength to your stroke. But yeah, both of these players have very compact strokes, so they don't really need too much of their body to be dangerous, because that's not really what they're playing for. It's very interesting. Both of them have become more aggressive over the matches, and now they have also become, at the same time, more conservative, waiting just a stroke longer to make the attack. So if you think about how the game is progressing, in a way, this is like they're becoming harder and harder to deal with for each other. But I still think, I have a feeling, IFA might need to do something more with placement against ProtoTVR if he wants to stay in this. And I think ProtoTVR has chosen to just spam IFA's backhand to make him insecure about using it, and then sometimes switch it up to a forehand when he's not ready anymore. Yeah. ProtoTVR is also very good at reading your body position while he's playing, which of course is invaluable, and it's not as easy as you think. It also goes with the style of play that he has. IFA has the same one. But when you're a faster, more attacking player, you're so focused on your own attacks that sometimes you don't have time to see your opponent's position, or at least it's harder. ProtoTVR, though, it's a big part of his game, seeing how you're balanced, where your feet are, and what you're ready for and what you're not ready for. Of course, the more he goes for his own attacks, the more he loses sight of what you're doing. So it's always a balance. All right, ProtoT's backhand is starting to work. That's what's being said. It's true. It's true, but I don't think it didn't work before. It's just he's choosing to use it. And he's choosing to use it on the diagonal a lot to make sure that the ball lands, so he has the longest stretch of table to play with. And I also have a feeling that IFA's placement game has become a little bit more simple. But it's point to point, because there's moments that he really does. Yeah. I think ProtoTVR is kind of expecting the ball to go to the middle as well. So he's ready to step in and accelerate to the deep backhand of IFA. Sorry, by the way, for not changing more of the angles. Like I said, he's just too fast to do it in a good way, and I don't want to, waste any good points for you to watch. If I'm not mistaken, this set and this set, ProtoTVR is already playing for the win. Oh, and there he goes. Well played by ProtoT. It was not an easy road for him.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you. Wow.
Give me the money, baby! Where's the money? Give me the money!
The small final. This is going to be interesting as well. I think the pressure is off in this game. Both of them seem and feel very relaxed right now. They still want to win. One of them is going to get $150. One of them is going to get $100. I think they are happy with either one of those options. Just happy to be able to play for the third and fourth position, play at their best. So let's see if JD is actually as much of a defensive or counter player as he seemed against ProtoT, and let's see if Skilla can make more of the balls land. And I have a feeling this whole situation might be in Skilla's favor. And let's see if JD can make him doubt his strokes. Oh, still 23 viewers. You guys stuck around. Very nice. Very nice. I'm still here too, hoping I'm not keeping any, well, Otis or Sarah awake. Prefer to call them by their names. Alright, sorry for moving the mic. For those of you going to sleep, just tune into my voice and let sleep take over. For those of you too excited, well, I don't think my voice can stop you now. Skilla took the first set. His first match might say quite a lot about how it's gonna go. Skilla purely dominates. It's gonna be a lot of work for JD to get back into it. Also, by the way, you might not have noticed, but I did. Both players are left-handed. Yep. So, final four, 2 lefties. That is kind of realistic too. So, actually, I think if you look at the top 20 right now, there's a lot of lefties in there. I'm also lefty. Percentage-wise, it seems to match real world conditions as well. Lefties always being more used to playing righties than righties playing lefties because they're more rare. Lefty against lefty, of course, that's something else. Some lefties are really good versus other lefties. I usually am quite good against them. But in this case, I don't know. Also, this reminds me, Roman, I haven't forgotten about my request to be able to mirror somebody in the game, meaning that if somebody would play me as a right-handed player, I would be able to see them as a left-handed player and they would see me as right-handed. I think that would be so cool. I mean, that way I could train against left-handers all the time. And anybody else could as well. Alright. Back to the game at hand. I can't say that my prediction is right or wrong because I just said this first match is important. It seems JD is putting up quite a fight already. So I don't think Skilla's gonna just roll over him. I do feel Skilla is quite confident though. But of course, he has to make the balls land. Yeah. So you might have noticed already, left-handers, but maybe left-handers are a little bit better prepared for it, but the deep forehand is a dangerous place, for sure for a forehand attacker like Skilla, because they're prepared to pivot, you know, to play forehands towards the middle or on their backhand sides, which means a lot of the time they actually leave their wide forehand a bit more open, trusting that they will get there if they need to. But of course, sometimes they forget to be ready to go that deep. But more often than not, people are just too afraid to play to the deep forehand of a forehand oriented player. It's actually a good idea. I mean, if you look at Chushin, when he pivots and he finishes the point, it's way more destructive than when he plays from the deep forehand. So, something to take into account. So JD is, I still don't have him figured out at all, which is a good sign. Slow open ups, very controlled serves. Basically a slightly different version from what IFA does. But like I said, table tennis is about, well, making your opponent miss. And it also means not missing yourself. Might seem a little bit different when I start talking about Shushin, but when I start talking about Shushin, it's also because I'm seeing good stuff. Alright. So it seems they're playing best of 5. That's what they seem to have agreed on, and I think that's probably not a bad idea. Of course, best of 7 would be cool too, but it's important, of course, for them to know what's going on after the first match. For people wondering, by the way, what's the difference between best of 5 and best of 7, apart from just the sets, the amount of matches you need to win. The more matches you have to play, the more sets you have to play to actually win, the stronger player will be the one that wins. The more chances the stronger player has. It's much easier to cause an upset when you have to play less sets. So actually the game is like one match in 11 table tennis is actually one of the most volatile forms of matches, because you can quite easily win against a better player before he has time to adapt to your game. You saw it in the final as well. The game was so long that they really, they couldn't win by just surprising their opponent. They really had to get to know their opponent's game, find solutions all the time. So it's very nice to see high-level games go to the last sets, because it means they're really, really, really close. All right. Skilla for now has had trouble activating his forehand. So maybe we should try and figure out why that's happening. Oof, I hope it's not tracking. I don't think so. I think his feet are a little bit slower. He's not entirely ready for it. Like I said though, it needs I need at least a lot of warm-up to be able to play well in this game, and to be super secure on my fast forehand strokes. But this is a good one. Now it's just about making this next one land. Yeah, just doubting a bit too much. But he got it anyway. So JG is clearly trying to mess a little bit with Skilla, playing in the backhand. I don't think Skilla has the space to pivot, which of course is, it's not a good thing for a forehand-oriented player. It's not like Skilla doesn't have a backhand, but you can see he's way more passive on it. If that would have been in his forehand, he would have attacked. There we go. Good placement by JD. A very realistic netball. Maybe you have noticed, but I've noticed a lot. Like every time tracking gets better, netballs get more varied as well, in a way. It's weird how all this stuff works, but it only gets better. And as you can see, it's already very, very good. Skilla seems to be fighting his way back into this. I have a feeling he's not trying to force it too much right now. Might be the right call, because JD seems to be waiting a little bit. Like, if Skilla is still doubting his forehand, he doesn't really have to force anything. I think Skilla realizes it. Just make sure the ball lands, and when it's clear, he will attack. The thing that's maybe a little bit the weak point in JD's game is I have seen very good placement of him, but I really haven't seen a finishing attack. Though this spin is good, though it seems to be quite hard to control. So that might actually be his key. It looks slow, but it's super spinny. More spinny than you expect. It doesn't have to be super spinny. Frustrations entering Skilla again. He's taking a bow. No, he's just taking off his headset. Don't show this footage to any cats. The missing bodies might be too much for them, but then losing a head. Alright. It's getting late for me, I think. Alright. This is the last set of the second match. They're playing best out of 5, it seems. So first to 3 wins. Winner gets $150, loser gets $100. JD, more consistent, slow spinny looper. Skilla, a good player, but generally mainly focused on a good strong forehand. You might think, by the way, as well, like if a forehand-oriented player doesn't get to play his forehand a lot, that's because people have him figured out. But a lot of the time, it actually means that people stop playing to his forehand, which means the table becomes a lot smaller. And I mean, it's not easy, but you can start making use of that at some point. I mean, just imagine you have to play on half a table because you're scared of your opponent's forehand. This is not happening here right now because JD knows that if you doubt, actually going for your stronger stroke is actually where you can grab some loose points, which is what is happening now. That was the second match. It went JD's direction again, so if he wins this next one, I think we'll be wrapping up this tournament. Yes, best of 5. It's been confirmed by Chip as well. Yeah. You have to think, for a player that is attacking like that, like Skilla wants to, the focus has to be super high because you can start winning in a set, but you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You have to just keep putting pressure because if you hold back, you know, they're gonna take control of the table. This is good though. This backhand, just a little bit more spinny than you expect, but it's very secure. That's good. So that's also why you can see maybe Skilla win a set very easily when everything starts to land, but then if he just lets go just for a second, the set can get away. The next one, or the same set even. That's, I say, like, he has to make his own points, right? And JD and Proto VR before, they let you make or lose the points a lot. And then when they need to, they just add a little bit to it. So yeah. Good backhand. Like most forehand-oriented players have really good backhands as well, but they just need a little bit more wind-up sometimes. Because they're used to doing big strokes on the forehand, they usually have quite a big backhand as well. Usually they try to keep the backhand more compact so they have at least one side that they can easily get to. You know, to get faster to the ball. A bit of luck to pull in the first set of this third match. JT is cleaning his rubbers. Very important, by the way, in real life. I was playing in Spain, actually. People were always surprised to see me with like a sponge type thing to clean my rubbers. Like, what? Well, maybe they were also confused by the container I had it in, because it looked like I was bringing lasagna. Which, of course, you don't use to clean your rubbers. Or at least I don't. Yeah, good. It's a good series of attacks. You can see Skilla is a little bit more conservative than I think he would be if he's totally feeling it. He also like not moving exactly right. Yeah. Another thing, of course, if you're playing strong and hard as a forehand attacking player, you will move automatically. You will move really well. But then if you start doubting everything that you're used to doing, like using your body well, moving your feet and all of that just goes down a little bit in level. And that's, of course, danger. Because even when you play softer, your feet still have to move. He's doing quite okay now, though. Oh. Almost fell down. A bit of luck. Let's see if we can get back into this set and into the match. That's a good spin. He moved his feet well for that one. I'm a little bit surprised with the way he's serving, because he's not really setting himself up for a forehand attack. I'm sure he has his reasons, though. Alright. This could be the last set, or it could be something else. I don't think either of them are thinking of chop blocks, by the way. Do we know if these players are using adapters? Good question, Roman. And as I understand, all of them are, except Skilla didn't respond to that, but I'm quite sure that he does. Very few high-level players in the game with Quest 2s don't have it unless they just started. And it's gonna be a Sanlaki or a version of the Sanlaki, otherwise they wouldn't be able to play this well. But still, we might have to ask them afterwards, because I don't have that information. I asked for it, but I didn't receive it from both of them. IFA and ProtoT, they do play with the adapter. So for people wanting to know the ProtoT VR's paddle settings, they're bounce 88, max spin. Well, it says two times max, so I imagine his throw is also the max that is allowed in the live version. But he plays with relatively fast arrowlet blade ALC. Harimoto ALC is what he's going to play with, but he hasn't. I don't think he has really tried it still. It's very interesting to see somebody start winning when they have a more aggressive play style, because it can mean that they become a little bit more confident. But I didn't have a feeling that was why he won the last match, so we'll have to see if he can actually start finishing more points. I have a feeling that even though it's not really his game, he was winning by also playing mostly control This is very good though, just wait for the right moment. Good spin up. You can see Skilla has gotten used to slower spins from JD, at least a little bit. Maybe JD is not always managing to put as much spin on it. Either way, Skilla seems to be in control of those spin shots. I'm starting to think that Skilla's name maybe is more applicable to himself. I'm not saying that in any bad way, but he has to choose between taking the risk of attacking or taking the risk of playing control when he's actually better at attacking. So you could say neither option is good, but also both options are very good. So he just has to walk that line, make the right decision at the right time. I think sometimes in his forehand he lowers his bat a little bit too much, so when he plays he doesn't hit it straight on enough, and then it goes long. This is a good ball though. I guess first attacks, second attack are good most of the time, but it's when it takes a bit longer and the ball sets up a bit more and still comes deep that he seems to be in a little bit of trouble. Also talking about who is actually in the playing for the last places. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we saw 3 German players in here, and you could say, oh, but they're playing like regional or whatever. I don't really understand exactly how everything works in the German leagues, but I know even if they say they're regional, it doesn't matter much, because the competition in Germany is so strong. It's not really comparable to a country like Belgium or Spain, because you have to imagine like it has one of the biggest pro leagues at the top. So all of those players, or the players that are just below it, they fill up the second division, third division, however that's divided. Just a lot of very high level players in Germany. And if I'm not mistaken, Kanak Cha also ended up there. A lot of Portuguese players that went there. France is also not doing bad, so they play a little bit in France, a little bit in Germany sometimes. Calderano was also in Germany, I think. And of course, Ovcharov, Timo Boll. Alright, let's see if Skilla can make his way back. He's playing quite positive though, so it's just about making those balls land. Chat has died down a little bit, it seems. Come on, guys, say something. It's almost finishing. Okay, I really want to see some good stuff from Skilla. I mean, I have the same feeling a lot of the times that I want to show more, and it's just not happening. But I also know that I win a lot of matches that look quite ugly because I can't really play my game, but kind of find a way around it anyway. And Skilla is getting close to it, You can see, like, JD feels like he's much more in control, but he's still not overpowering Skilla. He's still right there. So you just know how dangerous he is, and how dangerous he would be if all of what he does actually lands on the table. There we go. He's still in the fight. If he gets this set, we can go to the last and final match for this small final. That was good. You could see the spin going into that. That's the thing. Those turnovers, like JD plays them quite well, so a little bit more to the body, and with the tracking and stuff, it's one of the hardest places to play, but it's possible. But you have to move very precisely in this game to deal with them well. In real life also, I mean, it's not an easy position, but in here there's a lot that could go wrong close to the body. Not that it does, but it can. Good spin. Skill is taking a breath. It's not bad. Like, yeah. Good. Yeah, like he's not letting himself be rushed into being finished. It seems like it's nothing, but just the fact that he takes a little bit longer for his serve to calm his nerves or to focus, to get out of this series of lost points. It's a very good tactic, but it doesn't mean that it always works, of course. That was a good return. Well played.
How much is the score? 2-2. 2-2, okay.
Is it 2-2? Alright, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-2. So will it be the last game? Or is it 7 matches? Alex, can you confirm that?
Well, if it's 2-2, then you play the last match. It's the first 2-3. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
But as I remember, there's like talks of having a Chinese device actually have this game as well. So if they open up cross-country multiplayer in there, then it's very possible this game will fill up with very good players from there as well. So yes, of course I was wrong and the players are right. Makes total sense. Skilla won that first game. I really need to get to my bed, but I'm not gonna let this chance to watch these guys play live go. And I appreciate you guys not doing that either. So let's see. They're really pulling out all the stops for the last match, making sure we're entertained to the last possible minute. Nice. Okay, so both are, like, Skilla is starting to play a little bit more controlled as well. And it's all about choosing the right moment. I'm quite sure it is like that for him right now. I think if he's on fire, it doesn't matter when he tries to spin. But when it's tight, you have to make choices. Good spin. Also, it might seem like I prefer Skilla's game and stuff, but it's not really like that. It's just you want to see a good match, then you want to see the attacker play well. Otherwise, of course, it becomes quite boring and the points stop quite soon. Because it's just the attacker that misses. So, now having a secure player win while an attacker is playing well, that's a good match to watch. So let's see what happens here, because it might be that Skilla is really starting to get into it right now. Ooh, lucky. Lucky. But otherwise, not a bad point. Like I said, Skilla is still dangerous even when he's not playing to his best. Even when he's frustrated, he's doing a lot of damage. Like, a lot of the stuff that he does is just intuitively difficult for JD to do a lot with. Like, he places his balls well without even thinking about it. Or maybe thinking about it, of course. But when you play at that speed, a lot of the plays that you do are things that you got used to in training as well. You can tell me in the chat if I'm just starting to ramble, by the way, because I am getting a bit tired. This is still good stuff though, because it feels like they're going to go into the last set. Sometimes. Of course, that's another thing. If you play as a counter player, you play with your bat a lot more flat. What do I mean? Like more vertical, right? Because you play more through the ball, more forward. When you play attacking style like Skilla, you close your bat angle a lot more, which means that the margin of error is much smaller, so it's much easier to just miss the ball or get an edge or stuff like that. So that's why it's a high risk, high reward, and that's also why, of course, when you have things to think about like tracking and stuff, at the moment counter styles are safer. But it's perfectly possible. I've done it as well. If you do get warmed up, you can just keep landing balls in here. Keep attacking. So let's see what happens to Skilla now. And let's see what happens to JD. Like, he came out of nowhere for me. Only playing for 5 weeks. I imagine, like, because I'm talking about Skilla, like, I know how he plays. And he still makes the points, even though he was very frustrated with what happened. Taking a breath. But JD, who knows? I can imagine that's not even his full potential. He's just maybe doing something that works right now in the game. He might be playing way more aggressive in real life. So it will be very interesting to see where he ends up in a couple of weeks, months. I hope I have enough time to play sometimes with both of these guys. Well, all 4 of the top players. Well, anybody in the game practically, but still. I want to play everybody. But I want to play these guys too. And see what's up. I've beaten Skilla. I've lost against Skilla. I've beaten ProtoTVR. I've lost against him more than I won. The same can be said about Hydrauzu. And honestly, Sulik, for example, is a very good player, and I haven't even really played him yet either. Also looking forward to that. And of course, shout out to Josep Anton Velasquez. Double world champion trick shots of Stiga a couple of years back. And my friend and teammate from last year, He also made it into the game about a week or two ago. Having a lot of fun, but still adapting. Thanks, Roman. I hope I don't make you sleep during the middle of the day with my smooth voice. Alright, for anybody that's still awake, this is what it's all about. Skilla is in a very good position. It's not... I wouldn't want to be a defensive player at this point. There we go. Nice. That was well fought.
Well good
fought.
games. GG.
Gut. GG. Wow.
Wirklich knapp, ey. Das war immer spannend für die Zuschauer.
Boah.
I'll
War
let
ein
them talk for a bit.
Strategie-Game.
Ja, wir spielen ähnlich.